Have you ever felt anger flare up like a raging fire, overwhelming your reason, only to leave you with regret afterward? Sometimes it's a careless word from a loved one, an impulsive action from a colleague, or even trivial incidents on the street. Anger often arrives uninvited, pushing us to act in ways that contradict the person we aspire to be. But what if you could transform anger into an ally instead of an enemy? Guided by the wisdom of Stoicism, a timeless yet profoundly insightful philosophy, you can learn to master your emotions, reclaim your calm, and take control of yourself even in the most challenging moments. Today, I'll share with you 10 ways to manage anger. Not just simple tips, but deep lessons drawn from the understanding and practice of Stoicism. These are not merely methods to soothe your emotions. They are steps on a journey toward a life of peace and self-possession. So, tune in, take notes, and don't miss a single part. These lessons have the power to change how you perceive anger and how you govern your emotions. Don't just read them. Start applying them and let serenity guide your life. Number 1. Identify your anger triggers. Anger, in its essence, is not an enemy. It is a signal, a red light in the mind, reminding us that something is amiss. Yet, why do we let anger control us? How can we break free from the vicious cycle of rage and its painful consequences? The answer begins with recognition. What truly makes you angry? This is not a simple question, but a key to unlocking the door to inner peace, as Stoicism has taught us for centuries. Epictetus once reminded us, "It is not events that disturb people, it is their judgments concerning them." Anger arises from how we perceive and judge the world around us. A colleague says something hurtful, even unintentionally. Are you upset because of their words, or because you expect them to always understand and behave perfectly toward you? When we look deeper into such moments, we often find that anger stems from unmet expectations or hidden fears. Only when you identify these roots can you begin to take control of your anger. Try applying this in everyday life. Imagine you're a father who feels frustrated when your child doesn't complete their homework on time. Pause and ask yourself, why am I angry? You may realize that your fear for your child's future is at the heart of your frustration. Anger, then, becomes less about blame or outbursts and more of a reminder to act rationally, to guide your child with patience and love. This is the power of recognizing anger. It transforms what seems like a negative emotion into a positive force for change. Recognition, however, is more than just asking why. It involves truly listening to yourself, pausing in life's rush to reflect on what's happening inside. Seneca once wrote, "A wise man is content with his lot, whatever it may be, without wishing for what he has not." Understanding that dissatisfaction and anger often arise from wanting to change what lies beyond your control teaches you to let go and face life with serenity. Have you ever wondered whether anger is truly worth it? How many times have you let your temper flare over trivial matters, only to realize later that it didn't change anything but made everything worse? Anger is a double-edged sword. Uncontrolled, it harms both you and those around you. But when understood, it can be a companion, a gentle reminder of the core values you aim to live by. When you recognize the situations or triggers that provoke your anger, you might initially try to avoid them. While this can reduce stress in the short term, avoidance is only a temporary fix. Some circumstances are unavoidable. You must face them head-on. This is where the next step comes into play. Once you've identified the patterns or circumstances that spark your frustration, avoiding them may be a helpful first step. However, evasion is not a permanent solution. Life inevitably places us in situations we cannot escape, requiring us to confront and transform our approach. This is where the second step begins. Number 2, recognize anger early. Anger doesn't arrive like a sudden, raging storm, but often resembles a trickling stream that gradually builds until it overflows. It begins with tiny sensations, a fleeting irritation, a momentary dissatisfaction, and, if left unchecked, can escalate into an uncontrollable blaze. Stoicism teaches us that true strength lies in recognizing these emotions as they first arise, for it is at that early stage that we have the power to master them. Imagine you are working in your office, fully immersed in an important project, when a colleague unexpectedly asks for your help. At first, you feel a slight annoyance, but this feeling starts to grow as you think, "Why don't they respect my time? I have my own work to do." If you fail to acknowledge this feeling early on, you might react negatively, perhaps by refusing abruptly or saying something hurtful. But if you pause and notice the discomfort at its onset, you can ask yourself, where is this feeling coming from? Am I overreacting because of work stress? By doing so, you can respond calmly and more rationally. Seneca once wrote, "We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more in imagination than in reality." This rings particularly true when it comes to anger. Frustration often stems from a belief that we have been wronged or disrespected. But upon closer inspection, we realize that many of these thoughts are mere products of our imagination or exaggerated perceptions. Early recognition of emotions helps us separate reality from blind assumptions. One effective way to detect anger early is by listening to your body. Anger is not just an emotion, it's also a biological response. Your heart begins to race, your breathing quickens, or your muscles feel tense. These signals are your body's warning signs. If you pay attention to them, you can catch anger before it takes full control of your mind. Additionally, be mindful of your thoughts. Sometimes anger doesn't arise from the event itself, but from how we interpret it. A thoughtless comment from someone might make you feel insulted, but in reality, it could simply reflect their personal opinion. If you catch this emotion early, you can ask yourself, is this really worth my anger, or is it just my mind's natural reaction? This self-inquiry becomes the key to stepping outside the grip of emotion. When anger is recognized early, it can transform into a positive force rather than a destructive one. It can drive you to take action against injustice or improve a situation, but only if you control it, rather than letting it control you. As Epictetus wisely said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Number 3, practice relaxation techniques. Recognizing anger early on is an important first step, but to truly master your emotions, we must learn how to soothe it. Relaxation techniques, such as deep breathing or self-reassurance, are powerful tools that help you stay calm and prevent anger from clouding your judgment. When anger flares up, take a moment to pause and offer yourself some positive words. Sometimes, a simple phrase directed at yourself can calm the emotional waves rising within. Imagine this familiar scenario. You've had a long, exhausting day, and suddenly, a colleague criticizes you. The sting of hurt and anger surges, like someone pressing a hidden trigger deep inside. But instead of snapping back, you take a deep breath and remind yourself, it's okay, this is just one comment, not a measure of my worth. In that brief moment, you regain control, stopping the anger from spreading like wildfire. Deep breathing is one of the simplest yet most effective techniques to calm the storm. When you're angry, your heart races, your breaths quicken, and your body braces for a fight or flight response. But by focusing on your breath, you can soothe your nervous system and pull yourself out of the emotional spiral. A slow, deliberate breath not only helps you regain composure, but also creates a precious pause between stimulus and response, a space where you can choose a wiser course of action. Sometimes, in the chaos of life, the simplest questions are the most profound. Is this worth my anger? Marcus Aurelius, in his writings, reminds us, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment. Anger, if left unchecked, becomes a pointless burden. But when we learn to relax, reflect, and process it, anger transforms into a valuable lesson, an opportunity for growth. Start with the basics. A deep breath, a positive affirmation to yourself, or even just a moment's pause to think. You'll find that emotional control isn't an unattainable goal, but a journey you can begin today. Are you ready to turn anger into a teacher rather than letting it become a force that destroys your peace? If you have any thoughts you need to share, questions lingering in your mind, or even personal stories you'd like to express, don't hesitate to write them down. Every journey is unique, and your situation may require a tailored approach. Let's create a space to discuss, analyze, and explore the best solutions together. Sometimes, all it takes is a fresh perspective or genuine empathy to uncover the best path forward. Number 4. Think before you speak. In moments of anger, the hardest challenge is controlling our words. The things we blurt out often carry a destructive power far greater than any act of physical violence. A careless remark can leave deep psychological wounds, scars that linger far longer than we realize. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." This simple reminder holds a profound lesson. Think carefully before letting words escape your lips, especially when emotions threaten to overshadow reason. Picture a familiar scenario. After a long, stressful day at work, you come home to a messy kitchen and children who haven't done their homework. Frustration boils over, and you snap, "Why are you always so lazy?" To you, this may be just a natural reaction to exhaustion. But to the child, it could cut deeply into their self-esteem, leaving them feeling inadequate. Similarly, in an argument with a spouse or colleague, a statement like, "You always do this," can wound more deeply than harsh but honest criticism. Words, once spoken, can never be taken back. For the Stoics, thinking before speaking isn't just about verbal restraint. It's a demonstration of self-control and wisdom. Taking a moment to pause, breathe deeply, and reflect on what you're about to say is an exercise in the mental strength the Stoics encourage us to cultivate. In practice, you can apply this principle daily by asking yourself, does this really need to be said? Will it help in this situation? Another approach is to imagine standing in front of a mirror and asking yourself, does this statement reflect the person I want to be? Try a simple but effective exercise. When you feel anger rising, take 3 deep breaths and count to 10 before speaking. In this pause, remind yourself that every word has consequences, and you are fully accountable for what you choose to say. You might also find value in journaling, as Marcus Aurelius did. Write down moments when you lost control of your words and reflect, if I could go back, what would I say differently? This Stoic practice can help you identify patterns in your behavior and gradually change them. Thinking before you speak is a sign of respect, not just for others, but for yourself. Thoughtful words can heal instead of divide, encourage instead of harm. While we cannot always control our emotions, we can choose how to express them. Remember, every word you utter leaves an imprint on the listener's heart. Why not make that imprint one of kindness, wisdom, and empathy? Let your words build bridges, not walls. Number 5. Use exercise to manage emotions. Thinking before you speak helps to curb impulsive words, yet emotions often need an outlet. Exercise, with its remarkable power to release negative energy, offers a pathway for the mind to reclaim its calm. Imagine having a day full of stress. Everything seems to be against you, and inside, a storm of emotions is ready to erupt. Instead of letting it wreak havoc, you step outside, lace up your running shoes, and start running. With each stride on the pavement, each breath, and every drop of sweat, you feel the anger dissipate. What remains is peace. From a biological perspective, exercise triggers the release of endorphins, the happiness hormones that alleviate negative feelings. But more importantly, from the lens of Stoic philosophy, exercise is a way to build resilience and confront yourself. Each time you lift a weight or push through another lap, you're not only strengthening your body, but also testing your willpower. It's a workout not just for your muscles, but for your mind. Each time you surpass your limits, you learn to control and transform your emotions instead of being overwhelmed by them. I recall the story of a friend, a high school teacher, who often deals with the pressures of work. He shared how, in moments when he felt on the brink of losing control, he would head straight to the gym. There, amidst the clash of metal and the pulse of fast-paced music, he found serenity. Each lift felt like shedding the burdens clouding his mind. Walking out of the gym, he would feel clearer, and the anger he once thought unbearable would dissipate like a faint wisp of smoke. Exercise isn't a miracle cure, but it is a practical and effective way to channel negative energy. Have you ever tried walking while angry? You might be surprised to find that even slow, deliberate steps can calm your mind better than any argument. Ask yourself, when faced with anger, will you let it control you, or will you take charge of it? Next time anger arises, remember that you have the power to act instead of react. Don't let anger dictate your actions. Instead, direct it through a run, punches on a heavy bag, or simply a long walk in the park. You'll find yourself not only mastering your emotions but also emerging stronger, both mentally and physically. This is the essence of what Stoic philosophy teaches us, the power to master ourselves. If you've made it this far, be proud. It shows you're serious about changing for the better. This journey isn't easy, but you've chosen to persevere. What lies ahead will complete the picture, a clear action plan to face any challenge with confidence and strength. Keep going, because the transformation you deserve is within reach. Number 6. Address issues early. How many times have you let a small issue upset you, yet instead of addressing it directly, you chose to stay silent, hoping it would simply disappear? The truth is, those uncomfortable feelings never fade away on their own. They linger, like a smoldering ember in your heart, waiting for another spark to ignite a full-blown fire. Stoicism reminds us that the best way to manage anger is not by avoiding it, but by confronting and resolving the issue as soon as it arises. This is not just a practical approach, it's a wise way to live. When you let a minor issue slide without dealing with it, you inadvertently create a crack in your peace of mind. That crack deepens each time it's triggered, until one day it shatters your calm and reason. Imagine a typical day at work. A colleague makes a comment that hurts your feelings. You stay silent, telling yourself, it's no big deal, not worth the fuss. But the discomfort lingers, day after day. A week later, when the same colleague critiques your work, that simmering sense of injustice explodes. You lose your temper and say things you later regret, damaging the relationship. Yet all of it could have been avoided if you'd had the courage to say, I feel uneasy about that comment. Can we clarify it? Right from the start. In reality, your anger doesn't stem from others' actions, but from how you perceive those actions. When a problem arises, instead of reacting impulsively, pause and ask yourself, am I blowing this out of proportion? Is this really worth such anger? From there, choose a response that aligns with your reason and core values. This approach not only helps you resolve conflicts effectively, but also preserves your inner peace. If understood correctly, anger isn't always the enemy. It can be a friend, a signal that something important needs attention. When you feel anger arise, ask yourself, what is this anger trying to tell me? Is it reminding me of a core value that's been violated, or highlighting an issue that needs resolving? Addressing problems early on is a small act that brings significant change. It helps you avoid unnecessary outbursts, protects your relationships, and, most importantly, safeguards your peace of mind. By choosing to confront rather than evade, you not only master your anger, but also affirm the strength of your wisdom and courage, two fundamental values of a Stoic. So next time you face an issue, what will you do? Will you remain silent and allow emotional burdens to accumulate, or will you address it head-on to preserve your tranquility and inner freedom? I believe you already know the answer. Number 7. Lighten up with humor. Sometimes, even when we try to address issues early on, conflicts and tensions can still arise. In those moments, what would you do to keep your emotions from spiraling out of control? This is when humor, a delicate art in communication, becomes a powerful ally. Imagine yourself at a family gathering, where an intense debate suddenly erupts over something trivial, like dividing up the tasks for preparing a party. The atmosphere grows tense, voices get louder, and everyone seems determined to defend their own point of view. Instead of getting drawn into the argument, you could smile and say with a touch of humor, "Looks like we've already used up all our energy on debating before the party even starts." This light-hearted remark not only diffuses the tension, but also helps everyone recognize the absurdity of the situation. Humor, when used appropriately, isn't about mocking others. It's a gentle reminder that sometimes we lose sight of what truly matters. Stoicism likens humor to a warm ray of light that can dissipate the storm clouds of anger within us. Yet it also cautions that this light must be wielded carefully, for it can easily turn into a fire that burns others. A well-timed joke can transform a heavy atmosphere into a more relaxed one, encouraging smiles and fostering a more compassionate perspective. But without care, humor can be misinterpreted as sarcasm, wounding others and intensifying conflicts. This is the fine line that Stoicism emphasizes. Humor must come from a place of goodwill, from a genuine desire to reconcile rather than attack or ridicule. Before delivering a humorous remark, ask yourself, will this bring relief to others, or will it exacerbate the situation? But have you ever wondered how to bring humor into everyday life? Perhaps it's when you find yourself waiting for hours in a long line at the airport, surrounded by people grumbling incessantly. Instead of letting irritation take over, you might think to yourself, maybe they're testing my patience to see if I have what it takes to be a Stoic. This private joke doesn't need to be spoken aloud, but it can help you maintain a lighter mood and avoid being swept up in the negativity around you. Humor isn't just a balm for soothing anger. It's also a bridge that connects us, reminding us that life doesn't always have to be so serious. The Stoics teach us that we have control over our minds, and by choosing humor, we choose freedom. Try looking at challenges through the lens of humor, and you'll find that anger ceases to be an enemy and instead becomes a teacher, guiding you toward inner peace. Number 8. Take a step back. In Stoicism, anger is not an enemy, but a signal that allows us to understand ourselves better. When faced with a situation that provokes your anger, stepping back isn't avoidance. It's a way to create mental distance, enabling you to view the situation calmly and clearly. This approach not only helps you manage your emotions, but also gives you the opportunity to reflect on the most appropriate course of action. Epictetus wrote in Meditations, "When you are offended at any man's fault, turn to yourself and study your own failings. Then you will forget your anger." This advice emphasizes that instead of fixating on the faults of others, we should look inward. It's easy to feel offended and angry, but have you ever asked yourself, have I ever made a similar mistake? How might I respond differently in this situation? Another practical method is to change your environment in the moment. For example, if a coworker does something that frustrates you, step away from your desk and take a short walk outside. This doesn't just help you cool down, it also provides a fresh perspective. Psychological studies show that pausing and shifting your surroundings can significantly reduce stress levels, which in turn diminishes the intensity of anger. Ask yourself, if I react now, what will the consequences be? Am I about to make this situation worse? Stoicism teaches us to always consider the consequences before acting, because decisions made in anger often lead to regret. Don't forget to practice tolerance and compassion. Remember, we are all human and imperfect. Take a relatable example. A friend arrives late to a meeting without informing you beforehand. Instead of letting anger take over, you could think, I've been late before and inconvenienced others. I know these things can happen to anyone. This empathy not only diffuses anger, but also strengthens relationships. The next time anger arises, what will you choose? To pause, find calm, and practice tolerance, or to let it flare up and consume you like an uncontrollable fire? If you're ready to take charge of your emotions, leave a comment saying, "Respond, not react," as a commitment to yourself and a way to share Stoic wisdom with others. Remember, anger can become a powerful ally if you learn to face it with mindfulness and wisdom. Number 9. Ask for help when needed. There are moments when simply stepping back and giving yourself time to calm down isn't enough to truly resolve the root of a problem. You might find that, despite your best efforts, anger keeps resurfacing, haunting you in unexpected moments. This is when you need to recognize that you cannot overcome everything on your own. The wisdom of Stoicism lies not only in what you know, but also in your ability to acknowledge when you need help. Anger is like a fire, small and manageable at first, but if left unchecked, it can grow and destroy everything in its path. When you feel incapable of extinguishing that fire on your own, seeking help from those around you or from professionals is the best way to protect yourself and the people you care about. Unfortunately, many still perceive asking for help as a sign of weakness. It's this misguided belief that makes seeking assistance so challenging. Yet, we are social creatures by nature, built to connect and support one another through life's struggles. As Marcus Aurelius emphasized, what injures the hive injures the bee. This reminds us that no one can exist in isolation without being affected by their relationships. Asking for help is not just about solving personal problems, but also about fostering empathy and creating deeper connections with others. Imagine standing in the midst of an emotional storm, your anger like waves pulling you into chaos. In such moments, reaching out to a friend, family member, or professional to listen and guide you doesn't just bring clarity, it helps you build lasting, genuine relationships. In the end, sharing not only lightens your burden, but also allows you to see the problem from a fresh perspective, one you might never have discovered on your own. So why are we still hesitant to seek help? Perhaps it's because we're fixated on the image of a perfect person, someone who always has control, who never needs anyone else. But the truth is, real strength lies in acknowledging your imperfections and allowing yourself to be supported. Don't hesitate, because what you stand to gain isn't just relief, but a better version of yourself. Have you ever dared to step out of your comfort zone to embrace change? If not, now is the time, not because you're weak, but because you deserve peace. Number 10. Stay true to your core values. Seeking help when needed is a way to learn and manage emotions, but the ultimate key to mastering anger lies within yourself, living in alignment with your core values. This is not just the final lesson, but the foundation that makes every other method effective. Let your values guide you through the most challenging emotional storms. Stoicism teaches us that our worth is not determined by external events, but by how we respond to them. When anger arises, our initial words or actions often stem not from reason, but from an explosive and uncontrolled emotion. That is when you must ask yourself, does what I'm about to do truly reflect the person I aspire to be? Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." This reminds us to return to our core values whenever anger threatens to overwhelm us. Imagine you've just completed a major project, only for a colleague to take all the credit in a team meeting. The anger wells up. You feel betrayed and want to expose the truth immediately. But if you pause and ask, would reacting this way honor my values of integrity and composure? You might decide instead to calmly address the issue privately with your colleague. By doing so, you maintain professionalism and mutual respect. Stoicism reminds us that the harm we feel is not caused by others' actions, but by the power we give those actions over us. When kindness is your guiding value, you realize that responding to insults with calmness not only preserves your dignity, but also creates space for the other person to reflect and potentially change their behavior. This calmness is not weakness. It is an inner strength that transcends fleeting emotions. Living by your core values is not just a way to manage anger. It is a path to maintaining harmony in relationships and peace within yourself. Seneca wisely noted, "Anger, if not restrained, is frequently more hurtful to us than the injury that provokes it." Left unchecked, anger can destroy relationships and tarnish your own image. But when your values take precedence over emotions, no insult has the power to shake your inner peace. Ultimately, your core values are your refuge in moments of emotional turmoil. When anger flares, ask yourself, am I letting my emotions dictate my actions, or am I letting my values lead the way? By living true to your values, you not only master your anger, but also build an image of strength, self-control, and compassion in the eyes of others. Most importantly, you find genuine tranquility within yourself. We've just explored 10 powerful ways to handle a bad temper, inspired by the timeless wisdom of Stoicism. These methods are more than quick fixes. They're tools to help you not only calm your emotions in the heat of the moment, but also build a life of peace and self-mastery. Anger isn't your enemy. It's an opportunity to grow, to listen, to reflect on your values, and to act in a way that aligns with the person you truly aspire to be. Each time you respond to anger with patience and wisdom, you take a step closer to becoming the best version of yourself. If you found this video helpful and haven't hit the like button yet, now's the perfect time to do so. It helps spread this message to even more people who need it. I'd love to hear your thoughts, so don't hesitate to share your perspective in the comments. And if you know someone who could benefit from this video, please share it with them. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. There's so much more insightful content coming your way. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.